Hey everybody, I'm Tom Vasel.
And I am Spencer Williams with GameNerdz.
That's right, folks. Spencer's joining us as he does each month to tell us the best-selling games of the previous month. This time we're talking about May. No, yes, May.
May.
Man, this year's flying by so much. May 2023. Games are in full swing right now. People are buying games. There's a ton of games. Games are being released. And yet, my suspicion is we will see, in May anyway, not a terrific change from April.
You're half right there. You're definitely onto something there. And in fact, that's just a perfect transition. I'm not going to throw any major surprises. Let's get right into the expansions, because there's only one somewhat new addition to the list from last month, and I'll just come right out with it because it's going to be hard to guess, and that's the Grand Austria Hotel Let's Waltz. It's previously been on the list as a pre-order, but now it's available, and so now that it's available and people can get it, or at least at the time of this recording, people were ordering it. I can't always comment in real time of our stock.
So is this number 5, by the way?
This is number 5 of our top 5 expansions for May, was Grand Austria Hotel Let's Waltz.
Okay, this is, of all the expansions and everything going on, this is still the one that I have not yet gotten to the table. I probably say this every time we mention it, so I got to get this out. Yeah, it's been a while since I played Grand Austria Hotel anyway.
Mm. Yeah, I played it once, and I would be curious to see what Let's Waltz adds to it. I love waltzing. Just don't judge me on my form.
Oh, you waltz? I wanted to waltz. I need to learn that.
Well, I mean, who doesn't waltz? I mean, I waltz down the hallways when there's no music playing. The only music that's playing is in my head. You don't need music.
All right.
Well, or an audience, right, Tom?
The next time at a con, me and Spencer will waltz.
We will do it. Okay. So now we're getting into the top 4, which are repeats from the month, and they've all from the previous month, and they've all just kind of they've all been waltzing in and out of their places. So number 4 was Meadow Downstream. It moved up.
So that was number 5 last year.
That's correct, yes. And so
that's interesting, because I assumed Meadow was the one that fell off.
That's right, because I sent you the list from last month, so maybe you can guess. Let's play have a little fun here.
I do have the list. I'm using a cheat guide today here. Yeah, so Meadow Downstream, which also I need to get played, this expansion. But yeah, just interesting. So Rebel needs another hit. They have Meadow. We'll see if this year's changes anything, but it's doing pretty well. I think number 3, let's see, I'm trying to figure out which one dropped here. I think 3, we're going to see a bit of a lull here. I bet it's Lost Ruins of Arnach.
No. Number 3, you are beyond wrong. Number 3 is Beyond the Sun, Leaders of the New Dawn. I
got to be honest, I think this is the last month you will see it on the list, because I think this is and I've not even played with it, but just opening the box, this is a very underwhelming expansion. There's almost nothing in that box. It's very small, and word is getting out on that, and I think people are not thrilled with that. I mean, I'm not saying it's bad content. There's just not a lot of it.
Yeah, well, it's already dropped 2 places from number 1 last time, so you're seeing that trend already. And but the other trends will continue, I'm sure. So what do you think is number 2?
Wingspan.
Yes, you got it. Number 2.
That's a point for me.
1 point. Wingspan Asia. I'm going to keep track here on my paper here. My pen. All right. 1 point so far. Okay. So Wingspan Asia, yes, that jumped 2 places from last month.
And technically, that could also be considered its own game, because you can buy it and play with 2 players. But most people, I would assume, are buying it as an expansion.
Yeah, and this probably one, like the Wingspan original, as being for a long time on a top sellers list. Asia will probably be, because it shares both those abilities of being able to be either an expansion or standalone. Will probably be on this list for a while as well.
All right, so the one that's at number 1 is a choice between 2 games, and so I'm assuming one of 2 things happened. Either Furnace's expansion went out of stock, or you had so many pre-orders for Lost Ruins that you decided to stop taking them.
Depends on whichever dropped off. I don't know the answer to either of those. Well, I do know the answer to one of those questions, or one of those
The one that fell off.
hypotheticals.
All right, so which one is
Yeah.
our number one now?
Number one is, of course, Lost Ruins of Arnach, the Missing Expedition. Jumped up to number one again from last month.
And this is still pre-ordered because it's not out yet.
Yes, that's correct.
I believe it's coming out around Gen Con time, which is going to have a lot of people excited for sure. But wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, every month since we've listed it, it's been up there. So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, do you see? It's weird. It's like there's not a Dune Imperium expansion on there this month. What does that say?
I think Dune Imperium might have sold out. That's possible.
Oh, maybe. Before I give people a hard time for liking Dune Imperium over Lost Ruins of Arnach, I should check our stock first.
All right, folks, before we jump into the top 10 best-selling games, just so you know, this information is coming from GameNerdz. They're a great online game store. If you're wondering where to buy games, they should be your first stop. So check them out. That's GameNerdz.com.
That's very kind of you to say, Tom. Thank you so much.
Hey, that's where I go to look for new things. So, all right, let's see. Top 10 games. Now, this is probably more of there's probably some more tumbling and turning in this one.
There's definitely some new additions and some big surprises, I would say, that I never would have expected.
I like big surprises.
Yes. So number 10 is a big surprise for me. I'd never even heard of the game. But number 10 is For Northwood, a pre-order. This is a solo trick-taking game. It says, Woodland Rulers engage in debate in this tactical solo trick-taking game. It's got really cute artwork. But hey, this is the rise of the solo games at GameNerdz, because we've had several months lately of big sellers for solo games, and this is no exception.
Interesting. Z just reviewed this last month, and he had told me a bit about it. It looks like a kid's game, actually.
It does.
Just
it really does.
The way the cover looks, but it's not. Wow, that's really interesting. You're right. I would never have guessed that one ever.
It's one of those that's like, it shouldn't work because like that was the gimmick of the crew, right? A cooperative trick-taking game shouldn't work. Well, a solo trick-taking game, how does that work? I don't know. I'd love to figure it out though.
All righty, what do we got for number 9?
Don't pass it up for the cute. Don't pass it up for the cute artwork, unless your kids like cute artwork and trick-taking games too. Number 9, this one I'm surprised wasn't. No. This makes total sense. What was May, Tom? What special day happens in May?
Mother's Day.
There's that, but also
my wedding anniversary.
Yes, so Tom Vasel, the wedding game.
I'm trying to think what else is in May. Memorial Day.
The 4th. What is May the 4th?
Oh, it's Star Wars. Come on, that's not the other 3 are more important to me than Star Wars. Okay, so this would be the new Star Wars. Hang on, because this could be a couple things. It could be the Star Wars Pandemic game, but it could also be the new Star Wars tactical game, which I forget the name of it. I'll pick that one.
The Shatterpoint?
Yeah, Shatterpoint.
Wrong. It is the Star Wars deck building game.
Oh. Well, that wasn't on the list last month. Okay,
it was
interesting.
Not. It's another new one. It just barely missed it last month. For sure, though, it went up there because people got to get them some Star Wars to celebrate Star Wars Day.
I still think I could use a slightly better name, but Shatterpoint's a great name. And this one's Star Wars the deck building game, but it is a good game.
So coming in at number 8, we have a repeat from last month. And this one, I will just go ahead and give you, it gained a position. It continues to be popular several months in a row, or at least this type of game or series of game continues to be popular.
Unmatched.
Yes.
So this is for King and Country?
Yes. One more point for Tom. There we go. You got 2 points.
You said it gained a point, and I knew it was number 9 last time. So I'm just using my skills of reading.
Oh, I didn't even realize that would give it away. Oops. Okay.
Yeah. So Z and the gang just reviewed this one, or they're about to review it. So yeah, these are going to be pretty good sellers for a while until they run out of stock. I think.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And speaking of, number 7 is another. I'll just go ahead and say.
So Brains and Brawn
Unmatched.
from Unmatched has passed for King and Country now.
It has.
This doesn't surprise me. It actually surprised me last month that it hadn't, because the characters in it, we got Doctor Strange, She-Hulk, Spider-Man. They're more popular than Black Widow, Black Panther, and Winter Soldier. They just are.
Yeah.
You know, you can argue over like Black Panther's awesome and everything, but the fact is Spider-Man is the #1 character, for Marvel.
Yeah.
So it was probably because last month it had just come in as the pre-order.
Yeah, it depends on when it was listed too. If it wasn't listed halfway through the month, that kind of thing may have had been the reason why it wasn't ahead of the other one. But yeah, it's like, of course, the brains and brawn are gonna overtake.
Although last month, 3 of the Unmatched Marvels were on there. Teen Spirit was number 5 last month.
Mm-hmm. Is it on here?
I wonder. Let's see what happens.
It's not number 6, because number 6 is a new addition to the list, and this is one that I'm not sure. I didn't check to see if this was a restock or not, but it's not brand new. But this is Ready, Set, Bet.
I know that it's gone in and out of printings, because I talked to AEG and I said, you don't have more of it. I was at a convention and they're like, it's been out of print for a bit. Mm-hmm. I'm pleased to hear this. I think Ready, Set, Bet is one of those games that we'll still be talking about in 10 years, I think.
I have not played it yet, but I definitely want to, especially just because of like the type of environment it creates when playing. It looks like a lot of fun. So
yeah, if you like shouty games at all, this is one.
Oh, I love shouting. Just ask my wife. How many times can I make a joke about my wife without being overdone?
You'll find out later tonight. All right.
Okay, and by that, I don't mean like I shout at my wife all the time. I just talk loud without realizing it, and she tells me that.
Okay, that's probably a really good clarification. All right. What do we got for number 5?
Number 5 is another new to the list. Again, a little bit of a surprise here for me, and it is Boop. Boop.
Okay, so this actually should not surprise you. Boop is becoming very popular. It's a 2-player abstract game when you are trying to get 3 cats in a row. But first you got to get 3 kittens, and they turn into a cat. But every time you put a piece on the board, it boops the other pieces 1 space away. It is so easy to teach. It has that cute level. A lot of retailers have told me this is one that consistently sells well. So now we'll see how well the Halloween version does. That's coming out later. The Boop.
Yes, I love it. I've got to pre-order that one. That looks like a lot of fun. Boop. Okay. And wait, no, that doesn't have anything to do with number 4. Actually, I'm gonna scratch that transition. Going into number 4 did not. So this will give it away. So I'll let you announce number 4. Number 4 is no change from last month, and that is
okay. That's Flamecraft.
Flamecraft. Always.
Flamecraft is definitely doing really well for it. So there's a lot of Kickstarters that come out, and most of them are not as popular as they were when they launched. And then the ones that come out, there's a lot that do become popular, but very few last more than a couple months. They fall off the list really quickly. This one's sticking around, man.
It is, and what's interesting to me is one of the reasons why, as many people will know, one of the reasons why Kickstarter games do so well is because of the upgraded components, right? But because this is just the standard edition, they're not getting those fancy upgraded pieces. That's not detracting people or preventing people from buying it. They still want to buy it for the artwork and the gameplay and that kind of thing. So that's really great for that game.
All right.
Number 3 is I don't know. This will be classified as How the Mighty Have Fallen, and I predicted this last month about this one not returning to number 1 this month.
Wingspan?
Earth.
Well, I don't think that's fallen. That's number 3.
Well, when you look at that it's been number 1 for several months in a row, then it's like, all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it's number 3.
Well, I know that he's printing tens of thousands, and I think you probably went out of stock halfway through the month.
We did, and that's why I predicted. I was like, I don't think this is going to be a repeat because people aren't going to be able to get it for a little while.
I just looked it up on your website. Out of stock. Come on now. All right, but yes, this game is the only game for Dice Tower East, which is happening in a few weeks, that I have 4 copies of. I really think it will. I think all 4 copies will be played at the same time.
Absolutely.
It's that popular. The good thing about it is the turnaround time is pretty quick. Like you can play this 90 minutes very easy. So all right, so
just get
that
on
went from 1 to 3.
Yeah, get on that list and make sure you're paying attention. So when it's available, you can go snatch it from the library. Just trying to help people out there know how to game the system if they've never
True.
been.
Well, it's in the hot games room, so we'll be fine there. So
well, never mind then. Okay, moving on to what I know a little bit more about, and that did not change from last month again.
So Turing Machine.
It's Turing Machine, yes.
Wow, this is amazing to me that this game is still doing so well.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it has to do with the backup of being out of stock for so long. And now that people are able to get it, they're still like, I want that. And then, they delay their orders so that they can reach that free shipping threshold at $75. And so it's just, I feel like it's going to be on there for a few months to come for sure.
Man, Scorpion Mask really knows how to get people to get their games. All right, so if number 2 stayed the same and number 1 dropped down to 3, I can't see number 3 moving to number 1. Maybe it did. I just can't see it, but I don't know. Tell me what number 1 is.
All right, I'm gonna make you make that call. Is it what you're thinking it could be, or is it not?
No, I think it's not. I think it's something new.
Okay, wrong. So
Really?
Tom comes with 2 points for the entire game. And number 1 is Resist.
Wow.
Number 3 last week or last month, and this is that new solo game. Yeah.
That's pretty impressive. A solo game. Well, this is not the first solo. I mean, the solo game's number 10. Wow, right. Solo's getting pretty hot here.
And you can play. One of the draws of Turing Machine is being able to play it solo so well. And yeah,
that's actually my favorite way to play it.
This is a solo gamers list for sure.
Alrighty.
So
I know.
For Tom.
Tell you all in the comments, you'll be like, we told you. You got it. Wow. Very interesting. Alrighty, well, thank you, Spencer, for coming on and sharing these stats with us. We'll see what happens. We are now entering the summer months where a lot of new releases get announced and come out. Not as much in June, maybe, but July for sure. We'll find out next month what's the best selling.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'm really interested to see what direction this will go during the summer.
Alrighty, folks. Well, until next time, I'm Tom Vasel.
I'm Spencer Williams.
And you've been watching the best-selling games of May 2023. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Ba-da-da-da-da.